But we want to let the world know that these words describe what we mean and what we are determined to do about racial injustice. One is the word all. We don't want some of our rights. We don't want a few token handouts here and there. We want all of our rights.
Turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, walking, keep on talking, talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around.
Good evening, and welcome to the 41st Annual City of Madison and Dane County Observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Please welcome our distinguished guest and our MC for tonight's program, University of Wisconsin-Madison Professor of Sociology Emerita and retired Deputy Director of the National Science Foundation, Dr. Cora Merritt.
My thanks to all of you. It is my profound pleasure to be observing tonight the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. It is particularly noteworthy that the celebration takes place on the ancestral land of the Ho-Chunk Nation. Noting the families, yes, that's fine to applaud. Noting the family's heritage, King's father once said, "My mother was way over on the Indian side." He meant she was very much a Native American. And he says, "And my father was a mixture of Negro, Irish, and Indian." We honor Dr. King for his abiding pursuit of racial and economic justice, and that pursuit was for and remains our commitment to all peoples. We come together recognizing that Dr. King remains a figure for our current times. And these are times, need I tell you, times of uncertainty and times of upheaval. But the voices of the MLK choir, the city and county leaders that you'll hear from later, our amazing humanitarian awardees, and our incomparable keynote speaker will unquestionably embolden us to face these times with the grit and determination that marked the life of Dr. King. We are grateful to have you here with us tonight, and for those who are listening in on WORT FM, thank you too. But let us begin this evening by joining with the MLK choir in singing the anthem, "Lift Every Voice and Sing."
Bring with the heart
Good evening. It is an honor to be with you here this evening. My name is Peter Beeson, and I serve as the pastor of St. John's Lutheran Church. And it is an honor to be here giving the opening invocation. There is one part that is call and response. When I say, "Have mercy on us," you all respond as you are able, "Have mercy on us." Let us pray. Creator God, as we gather to remember and give thanks for the words and witness of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we are mindful of the evil taking place in the world, the way people are being profiled based on the color of their skin and insinuations about who they appear to be. 63 years ago, Reverend King called us to work for a world where people are judged by the contents of their character rather than the color of their skin. And we confess we have fallen short. We have failed to recognize and respect people based on their inherent dignity. We have been silent in the midst of harassment facing our African American, Latino, Asian, Middle Eastern, and Native American siblings. And we have ignored the way similar vitriol is directed at our transgender siblings, attacking people for who they are, rather than their character and values they bring. As we confess these failures as a society, have mercy on us, O Lord. Have mercy on us. This evening, as we gather to remember a prophet, a minister, and a man murdered too early, we pray that you recommit us to doing justice and loving kindness, as it says in Micah chapter 6, verse 8. That you pour out your Holy Spirit upon us, and that you fill us with your energy, your breath, and your peace, so that we may be actors of peace and justice in our communities, creating a more merciful, more just, more compassionate world for all your children to thrive. In your great and holy name we pray. Amen.
Some of us get older, we got to bring our lyrics with us, just in case. How y'all doing this evening? Okay. Now there's a few people that's just sitting there. I said, how are you this evening? See if we can get this going. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown, and somebody keep telling me, oh, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me, please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been time that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Can there be anything more prophetic or inspiring? For change will come. And one of the reasons we know that change is going to come is because we have in our midst people who've accomplished a great deal already and are on the path to accomplish even more. We are at the stage now for recognizing the humanitarian awards, the presentation of we've got three presenters, at least, to acknowledge our awardee winners. I'll just say a bit about the three presenters who will in turn indicate the awardees. Presenting will be Melissa Agard, who is executive of Dane County. She will be followed by Satya Rhodes Conway, the mayor of the city of Madison. And then Jasmine Banks, who is chair of the MLK Commission. They will make the presentations. All right.
Good evening, everyone. I am Melissa Agard, your Dane County executive, and it is an extreme honor to be here today in the presence of all of you to reflect on the legacy of Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and to recognize the extraordinary contributions of this year's MLK Humanitarian Award recipients. I have the privilege of recognizing Ahmad Jamal Eubanks. So before I jump into giving you your flowers, sir, I want to pause for a moment to acknowledge the unstable and frightening moment that we are all living in right now. I equate it to a bit of a snow globe because right here in Dane County, we are in a very special place with people who show up and protect and care for one another. On the outside of our snow globe, there is an unpredictable and scary monster who teases us and taunts us, who frightens us in ways that no human should be able to. And it is okay to be okay at this moment in time. Only by acknowledging that will we be able to continue to take care of our corner of this earth and our friends and neighbors. We know that when people raise their voices in peaceful protest because our neighbors right next door are being terrorized, murdered, and attacked on the streets of Minneapolis, we are allowed to feel sorrow. We are allowed to raise our voices in outrage. And frankly, I think we must. When in fact, these actions of terror are being perpetuated and doubled down on by an administration in Washington, D.C., I believe that we must all shout out from the rooftops Dr. King's invocation that an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. So Dane County, I have a question for you. Will you join me tonight in committing to protect one another and to uphold justice and safety in our way of life? Will you join me in committing to pursue peace in every way that we can? And will you join me in committing to build a better future for all of our children? It's in dark moments like these that test our convictions and our morals that leaders like Jamal illuminate the principled path that we should follow forward on. Jamal Eubanks embodies the values that Dr. King called for all of us to live out: service, justice, perseverance, and a deep belief in the potential of every person. A proud South Madison native, Jamal has faced systemic and personal challenges throughout his journey, and I'm sure he will face more. It's a fact of being a human. Challenges that could have seeded in resentment. But instead, Jamal chose to dedicate his life to creating opportunity through education. Jamal founded Eubank Solutions, mentoring over 500 of our children in classrooms, in school districts, and in juvenile facilities. He meets every one of these young people with compassion, with high expectations, and an unwavering belief in their potential, because they don't see it in themselves. And someone needs to believe in order for them to believe. That is Jamal. His commitment to education is reflected not only in his work, but in his own academic journey. He has earned a bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees in special education and educational leadership. And that's not enough, because he is currently pursuing his doctorate degree. Jamal's research focuses on how mentoring impacts the academic success and self-confidence of African American male students. And beyond the classroom, Jamal continues to build in and believe in our community. His writing features a message of resilience and determination. As the creator of the Determination to Succeed Back to School Summit, he has helped families and students prepare for success, reminding young people that they are supported in this community and that they are capable. He reminds them that their dreams are their own and they matter. Dr. King taught us that progress comes from steady, everyday acts of service. And Jamal Eubanks lives that truth quietly and consistently and with unshakable purpose. So tonight, it is my extreme privilege to present the 2026 City County Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Award to a leader who expands opportunities, strengthens our community, and lights a path for our next generation. Please join me in honoring Ahmad Jamal Eubanks.
I know we got a time commitment, so I wrote something just to make sure that we stay within it. So, good evening. I stand before you tonight overwhelmed with gratitude and humility. First, I want to thank God for making this possible and just granting me opportunities I never imagined possible. To my family, my mother, grandmother, aunt, uncles, and children, thank you for your unwavering support, for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. To my fiance, for having the ability to calm me when I'm feeling overwhelmed. To my mentors, teachers, and fraternity brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, for your continued support. And to the south side of Madison, the village that raised me, you all played a part in shaping me who I am today. Dr. King once said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are we doing for others? Growing up on the south side of Madison, I witnessed that question answered every day through neighbors who looked out for one another, mentors and coaches who invested their time, and a community that worked tirelessly in attempts to not let anyone fall through the cracks. Those same values were instilled in me by my family and my village. They taught me that when you're been lifted up, you reach back and you lift others. I'll be honest, I struggled with believing in myself. I faced adversity, both systematically and internally, that made me question whether I belonged in certain spaces or whether I could achieve certain dreams. But my support system believed in me hard enough and long enough until I started to believe in myself. That's the power of community. That's the power of someone saying, I see you and you matter. The Determination to Succeed, my book, my mentoring programs, my back-to-school summits, these aren't just my work. They're my way of giving back to the community that gave me so much. They're my answer to Dr. King's question. But this work isn't finished. I'm here tonight not just to accept this honor, but also to invite you to join me in the work. If you're around and have time, pull me to the side or grab my contact information and ask how. The south side of Madison's village raised me. Now let's continue to build community and a village for the next generation. Thank you for this tremendous honor. Let's continue to do the work, and let's do it together. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know about you, but I needed to be here tonight. I needed to hear the choir. Thank you. Yeah, let's hear it for that choir. And while I'm saying thank you to the Stanleys for making the music happen. Thank you to our interpreters this evening. Thanks to the folks that are making us heard on the radio and from the award-winning Madison City Channel. I see you back there. And thank you to the King Coalition for making this happen year after year after year. Like I said, I needed to be here tonight because I need some help finding some hope. You know, every year we gather here, not just to celebrate the life of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but to look forward at the work that is still required of us. And this year, boy, does it look like there's a lot of work required of us. Dr. King famously said, "The time is always right to do what is right." And we are in times where these words are even more meaningful. Today was a day of service and an opportunity to honor Dr. King's legacy. Tonight is an opportunity for us to celebrate leaders in our community who have chosen to do what is right. Tonight is an opportunity to remember that we can all do what is right, even in the face of great challenges. Tonight, we can take courage from each other and remember to do what is right together. Remember, Dr. King did not work alone. He worked closely with other leaders and with thousands that joined the civil rights movement. So don't you ever feel like you have to do it alone, because this is work that we do together. And tonight, because of the times that we are in, let me be very specific. It is time for us to come together as a community and learn and uphold the principles of nonviolent civil disobedience. It is time to stop posting on social media and start signing up for trainings and shifts with Voces de la Frontera and Centro Hispano. It is time to get off our couches and get to know our neighbors so we know who needs support and what kind. It's time to know our rights and to make sure that everyone around us knows them too. It's time to build and nurture the beloved community here in Madison. Progress is a choice that we make every day, and tonight we can choose to make continued commitment to building a just and an equitable world. As Arundhati Roy wrote, "We be many and they be few. They need us more than we need them. Another world is possible. Not only possible, she is on her way. And on a quiet day, I can hear her breathing." Tonight, alongside County Executive Agard, I am privileged to recognize these leaders who embody the courage, the intellect, and the heart that Dr. King championed. Congratulations to all the award recipients tonight, and it's my deep privilege to introduce one of them. Justice, will you come up here, please? It appears to me that you already know Dr. Justice Castaneda. He is a visionary leader at Commonwealth Development. He understands that justice is a physical reality. It is found in stable housing, economic opportunity, and the safety of our neighborhoods. Justice's commitment to shaping policy through the lens of racial equity is exactly the kind of leadership that our city needs. He's an educator and a community development specialist by trade. Justice's professional and academic work explores the intersections of housing policy, economic development, and community violence, looking at the role these intersections play in educational and life outcomes for youth who have experienced trauma. Justice advocates for equitable policy change, collaborates with the community, and builds programs and networks that work to make true progress in dismantling institutional and community violence. Justice approaches community work professionally and personally through the lenses of racial justice, health equity, and nonviolence. He also, by the way, is prone to long philosophical conversations over breakfast at Willoughby's. Just saying. Justice is committed to mentoring those around him. He's lifted the voices of Madison and Dane County youth to leadership positions and dedicated himself to rigorous growth and learning. His work has been instrumental in policy change, best practice research, and building a community that prioritizes the health and well-being of community members first and foremost. Justice, it's an honor to be in the work with you. Your work is a reminder that while the challenges before us are great, our community's capacity for action is greater. You are one of the reasons that I am so optimistic about the future of Madison and Dane County. It is my honor to present the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Award to Dr. Justice Castaneda. She wants to get a picture of us right here. And I'm gonna put this here.
All right.
And the mic is yours.
Have this pair of remarks because I will say to spare you guys from the long philosophical conversation. So, I'm having a moment just because I hope you all see how beautiful you are and how strong you are. And I think it's overwhelming in a way to be here and to stand in front of you. I want to thank Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian War Commission, not just for acknowledgments, but for the work that they do every year and for continuing this work in this important day and the important message that this day has to convey. I want to thank, yeah, go ahead. County Exec Melissa Agard. Believe it or not, one time at Commonwealth Development, different story, and I'll do this quick. There was a flood, and we put an all-hands alert out to, it was before she was county exec, and we needed people to come fill sandbags, and you came out that day, and I just, thank you. I never got a chance to thank you personally, but thank you. To Mayor Rhodes Conway, thank you so much for your work, for everything you have done, and for what we're doing in the city. I am honored always to work with you and to to be able to be around you. There's so many amazing people on this list, and it's, first and foremost, I have to thank the educators of the Madison Metropolitan School District because without them, I wouldn't be here. The youth workers at Community Adolescent Program, Youth Services of Southern Wisconsin for chasing me around and taking care of me when I was a kid. Thank you so much. Dennis McClain was both my basketball coach at the Southside Spartans and also my detention supervisor. So I need to acknowledge him for doing it. And also a couple names on there. I have to acknowledge Milton McPike and Lee Thomas, who just passed, two educators. So, and I think to be here and to stand with the other recipients, I'm honored to have any space with you. You're doing amazing work. And just from the little that I've known and the people that when they talk about you, Mr. Eubanks, I mean, you're doing such amazing and important work. And I'm so lucky to be here with you, not just in the moment, but in the city. I have to say, it's gonna be a year. And I think about how beautiful we all are and the message that the mayor said about not having to do this alone. I am flawed and I'm full of conflict and contradiction, and I always have been. It's something that I carry with me. And I'm not content with who I've been, but I am absolutely inspired. I am in awe of the person that I am going to have to be to live up to the moment, to meet the moment with you all. I need to thank the people at Commonwealth Development. Thank you so much for being there with me. It's an amazing idea. And I have to acknowledge, we have a couple people here from the Madison Youth Advisory Board. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing, and thank you for pushing me to be better. Thank you all. And wow, what a moment. Nerves.
Good evening. My name is Jasmine Banks, and I am the chair of the Martin Luther King Humanitarian Commission. It is my honor to introduce you to Gift Akari. Gift is a freshman at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, pursuing a degree in electrical engineering. This past summer, he participated in the Madam internship program, which exposed him to an environment where he could interact with a group of teenagers outside of his usual circle. During this program, he was able to bond with his peers, solving problems, and attending events together. This allowed him to actively help create a sense of community. Gift has a passion for classical music and plays 3 musical instruments. He has served his community by performing in concerts, using music as a way to bring people together and create meaningful shared experiences. He played violin in the Wisconsin Youth Symphony Orchestra and performed at several musical concerts organized by WISO. He also played the clarinet at previous Verona area high school band concerts. After Gift mastered playing the piano, he served as a teen teacher at WISO Music Makers, where he applied his leadership and communication skills to support young kids who were learning how to play musical instruments, specifically violin and piano. It was an amazing experience for Gift to be able to impact knowledge and guide those growing minds, and to be a part of shaping their future in a positive way. He has a great outlook on life, and there is more to come with Gift. That is why it is my honor to present this year's City County Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Award to Gift Akari.
It is my pleasure to receive this award. I extend my deepest appreciation to the community that shaped me into who I am today. First God, then including my parents, mentors, teachers, and coworkers who guided, challenged, and supported me along the way. Dr. King reminded us that the measure of true education is intelligence plus character. And this community instilled both in me. Being recognized as someone who reflects his principles is truly an honor, and with continued guidance from this community, I will keep growing so that my life continues to follow his legacy. Thank you all so much.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. All the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and one man's soul. Follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got no place to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his way. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no homes, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and washed out dreams. They follow the pattern of the wind to sea, 'cause they got no place to be. That's
was looking at older videos from 2005. I mean, Jalen over there on the drums couldn't reach the foot pedal. That's how long ago it was. That's George Ramsey on the organ back there. And, you know, they say, yay, Leotha and Tamara, but there's others that really make us sound how we sound. So I want to thank George Ramsey on the organ. And we have, I'll go through them all. Okay, Matthew Heredia, and we have Darren Sterrett, and we have Carrie Backman, and Yancey on the sax, and of course, a beautiful choir that helps us to do what we do. So one of the mentors that I had, and that was from afar, was Walter Hawkins, and the other was Richard Smallwood. And this next song is a tribute to Richard Smallwood, who passed away just recently.
Lord, I will
I don't think there are any words that would be appropriate. That was powerful. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. But we heard power before that from those who made the awards and the recipients of the humanitarian awards. What they demonstrated to us is that humaneness is not lost. We have among ourselves the kinds of connections, the dedication that will help us continue to move forward. We can't recognize everybody tonight, but I do want to say something about the translators who've been so dramatic. Oh, they could have done a number of signs with no real attachment or devotion, but has that been the case? Not at all. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all who've made the contributions. And I have to acknowledge, too, what was very important about an earlier song about looking oneself in the mirror, because I think that's exactly what our awardees had done. And undoubtedly, that's what's brought a number of you here tonight, because you've looked in the mirror, you want others to look in the mirror, and I have a pretty good idea of some of those others we have in mind. That as we ask then, how do we make the kinds of changes, the changes that represent the legacy that Dr. King left for us? But we're not just talking about what happened in the past. We're talking as well about what lies ahead of us. And so we are fortunate tonight to have a very distinguished keynote speaker. We're privileged to have Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, who is a scholar whose work transcends any number of areas. He's a champion of racial justice, education, and other solidarity. Currently, he's a presidential professor at the City University of New York, where he advances urban education, anthropology, as well as Black, race, and ethnic studies. He has held distinguished positions as well at Temple University, Columbia University, and Morehouse College. Amazingly, amidst all of that, he has found time to undertake a number of other activities. He has, for example, created a center on education and the Uncle Bobby's Coffee and Books, a place to bring together the academic interest and issues that grow out of community and grassroots issues. He's authored 8 books and won recognition from Ebony as one of the 100 most influential Black leaders in the nation. He deserves applaud for that, among others. Dr. Hill has addressed a range of audiences through BET, through HuffPost, through CNN, and what had been MSNBC. But we are fortunate that tonight he has graciously agreed to offer his insights, his thoughts to this audience. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Hill for his reflections with us.
Good evening, everybody. I am so honored to be here with you all. It is such a special day, such an extraordinary tradition, and such an incredible event. And to be invited to be a part of it is nothing short of an extraordinary honor. I apologize for my voice. I'm under the weather. I have a 3-year-old, so it's really all you got to say, right? Yeah, but fortunately, I was able to arrive in this tropical paradise. It's made everything better. What a time to be talking about the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. There's never a moment where it's inappropriate or inopportune to discuss Dr. King. In my estimation, Dr. King is maybe the greatest American this country has ever produced. But there's something about this moment in particular that calls for Dr. King's attention, that begs for his witness, that demands his analysis, that compels his courage. We're at a time where so many of the struggles that we fought for, so many of the victories that we had claimed, we're fighting again. We're struggling again for the very same rights and laws and advances. We're finding ourselves relitigating battles, legal battles, political battles that were cemented in the books already. There's no doubt that this U.S. empire is on the decline. Ain't no doubt about that. But it's still a very powerful empire. And in this powerful empire, the richest empire perhaps in human history, we have children who go to bed hungry every single night. We continue to deny food, clothing, and shelter to the most vulnerable people in this country. You turn on the TV, it don't even matter what channel, even Fox. You watch people in city after city have their rights trampled upon, their civil liberties destroyed and derided publicly. We're watching innocent protesters in a country that loves to put a spotlight on free speech, that loves to brag about free speech when it's the freedom to be racist, when it's freedom to be anti-Semitic, when it's freedom to be sexist and misogynist. But suddenly when it's time to speak out for justice, when it's time to say documented or undocumented, you are a human being, suddenly we become militaristic and violent. We're seeing our educational system evaporate. For the poorest among us, it wasn't ever there. We're watching words like diversity and inclusion and equity become dirty words. I travel around this country, university to university, and every office that was the office of DEI, they done changed their name to something. It's all these secret code words and secret code languages to try and hold on to something. This is the office of multiculturalism. Now it's the office of black and brown colors, but not people, because we don't see color, because we don't see race, because race is bad, and to see race is to be racist. And so nothing, you know what? It's just an office. We're in a moment of extraordinary crisis. But it's at these kinds of moments that the legacy of Dr. King becomes even more powerful and even more important. Think about Dr. King's last speech on April 3rd, 1968. He said that if he were sitting at the beginning of time and were looking across human history, he would decide what era he'd want to live in if God Almighty gave him the opportunity. And Dr. King, in pure Dr. King fashion, gave us a brilliant survey of history. He said, I would start in Mount Olympus. Go to Greece, where Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides, and Aristophanes were assembled along the Parthenon. He said, but I wouldn't stop there. He went to Rome and looked at the great leaders and emperors, and he said, I wouldn't stop there. He said, I would go to the Church of Wittenberg, where my namesake, Martin Luther, attached 95 theses to the door of the church. He said, but I wouldn't stop there. He talked about the great vacillating President Lincoln, who finally had to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. He said, I wouldn't stop there. He went through history and said, I would stop right here where I am in 1968. He said, some would say that's a strange statement. The world is all messed up. He said, but only when it is darkest can we see the stars. Now, 58 years later, Dr. King's life and legacy is one of those stars. It is through the life and legacy and work of Dr. King that we can see a pathway home. Not only Dr. King, we gotta be honest and clear about that. Dr. King is part of a tradition. Dr. King is part of a black radical tradition. I use the word tradition because he comes out of something. We live in a moment where everybody want to believe that they the only one. In the age of selfie, people don't want to think about the collective. They don't want to think about what it means to be part of something bigger than them. Dr. King didn't emerge out of nowhere. There's a church that created him. There's a faith that created him. There's a community that created him. There's a political struggle and ideology that created him. He's part of a tradition. And yes, he's black. That needs to be said at a moment where people don't want to talk about race. They want to pretend that race don't exist. That the very mention of race is an act of racism itself. It's sort of he who smelt it dealt it approach to racial ideology. But Dr. King was also a radical. This is important to understand. Dr. King was a radical. Some people get scared of the word radical, but radical, when we look at the etymology of the word radical, it means to get at the root. Dr. King was saying that we got to get at the root and pull those roots out and produce something else. That means it's not enough to nibble along the edges. It's not enough to polish this thing up. It's not enough to reform. We have to transform. We have to transform. And so the Black radical tradition is a tradition that teaches us that the world is changeable, but only when we do the work of radically transforming every dimension of it that needs radical transformation. So at this moment of extraordinary darkness, I look at Dr. King. We should all look at Dr. King as a sign, as a pathway to get somewhere else. How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, the first thing that Dr. King's life and legacy teach us is the importance of the radical imagination. You see, Dr. King's dream is rooted in the radical imagination, what Robin Kelly, the great historian, refers to as freedom dreams. We are always trying to figure out what the future is going to look like. But so often our understanding, our capacity to imagine a new future is constrained, it's circumscribed by the realities of the moment. Who would I be if all my needs were met? Who could we be if all of our collective needs were met? What would the world look like if we weren't constrained by these seemingly insurmountable limitations? Some of y'all work in places where y'all have meetings and they say, well, we can't do that. And you say, why? They say, well, because we ain't never done it before. And sometimes that becomes enough. But the radical imagination is a commitment to imagining selves and people and worlds and traditions and futures and outcomes that seem impossible. And we work toward the impossible until the impossible becomes inevitable. You see, he comes out of a prophetic tradition. For Dr. King, Martin Luther King, he comes out of a prophetic Christian tradition. It's important to talk about the prophetic Christian tradition. He ain't a Creflo Christian. He ain't thinking about money changers inside the temple. Shout out to Drewski. He ain't talking about making it rain on him. Dr. King is getting at something more radical, preaching good news to the poor. Luke 4:28, preaching good news to the poor, freeing the captive, healing the brokenhearted. He's talking about something else. So for Dr. King, that means that there is a radical future that seems impossible but never is. King is drawn from people like Howard Thurman, the theologian and mystic, part of that Morehouse tradition. When you read The Growing Edge, and if you haven't, you should, Thurman says that we shouldn't reduce or scale down our aspirations to the events that comprise our immediate experience. What's he saying? He said you should never be prisoner of the event. Now, King was a Christian, Thurman was a Christian, so for him, that was about the scandal of the cross. He was saying just as death didn't have the last word because there was a crucifixion, but ultimately a resurrection, just as death couldn't have the last word on what God's possibilities were for life, we should not be prisoner. Just as Jesus was not prisoner to the events of the cross, we do not have to be prisoner to the events of our lives. No, I'm not a prophetic Christian. I'm not a good Christian. I'm not even a Christian. But in the secular context, we still have a similar analysis that we don't have to be prisoner to an event. We don't have to be prisoner to a moment. We don't have to be prisoner to a presidency. We don't have to be prisoner to a policy. We can do something else that's bigger than this moment. let's, as the great educational philosopher Maxine Greene said, let's release our imaginations. We don't have to dream of warmer and fuzzier prisons. Not in this tradition. We dream of abolition. We don't call for successful Me Too movements. We call for a world that gets rid of misogyny and patriarchy and rape culture. We decide that we can do something else. We don't consign ourselves to two-state solutions and weak reforms. We call for a free Palestine, from the river to the sea. Now that I won't be invited back, we can get down to it. I ain't want, it's -1 anyway. We have to imagine something bigger, but Dr. King's legacy wasn't just about the radical imagination. Dr. King's legacy was also about radical listening. Oh, Dr. King understood the power and possibilities of listening. I said before, we live in the age of the selfie. The problem with the age of the selfie is that it's attached to a whole lot of talking. Everybody is talking. There's so much talking. Everybody got an account, everybody got a page, people be live streaming from the supermarket. So much talking. We often don't listen. Even in our dialogues, we're really just taking turns talking. And while you talking, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say next. That ain't listening. To listen is to hear the perspective of the other. And also, not just as a kind of biological or physiological process, but as an ethical and moral project, radical listening, deep listening, is about hearing the perspective of another, irrespective of the body or the class position or the religion that perspective comes in. We have elections every year, and certainly presidential elections every 4 years, where they're like used car salesmen figuring out who's gonna help the middle class faster, help the upper middle class faster, protect the rich faster. But nobody is saying the names or articulating the perspectives of poor people. What does that mean? Our capacity to listen has to not just include dignified, smart, fancy people like us in this room, but also people who don't make it into rooms like this. But also to understand that not making it into a room like this isn't a failure, because there's a whole lot of wisdom, there's a whole lot of genius, there's a whole lot of moral achievement, there's a whole lot of beauty that exists outside of places like this, that we have to listen to everybody, because everybody got something to add to this. At the beginning of this event, I love the fact that y'all sang Lift Every Voice and Singing. Y'all did all 3 verses. I gotta shout y'all out for that. Even if y'all started mumbling when that road that we tried got stony, some of y'all didn't know where to go. But think about what it means for a song like that to be presented in the context of a black radical tradition. You see, when the Johnson brothers made that song and put it to music a few years later, think about where we were in 1897. Think about where we were in 1900 and 1901. This is a moment where the Emancipation Proclamation had been enforced, but so were the black codes. So were Jim and Jane Crow. Black folk couldn't sit at a lunch counter. Black folk couldn't vote. Black folk couldn't stand outside. Black folk were not citizens of this nation. If we're defining citizenship juridically, if we're defining citizenship by access to the laws and spoils of democratic citizenship, we were not citizens. Black folk did that. Black folk struggled for citizenship. We struggled for rights. We struggled for inclusion. And in that moment where we were part of an apartheid state, we made a song and we did not call it Lift Some Voices. We didn't call it even Lift Black Voices. Oh, they didn't know who they brought on them ships. They said, black folks said, lift every voice. Well, that's a level of moral and spiritual maturity that America still has not reached. The ability to say that, and this is King's tradition. Black folk left slavery and joined the military. Black folk have been more invested in this ideal of American democracy than America itself. But not just for nothing. It wasn't a lack of understanding or a lack of maturity or a lack of political clarity that we did that. We understood that America would only live up to its promise if every voice was included. Black folk didn't want to give the gun to the rabbit. We didn't want to reverse the relations of oppression. We wanted to create a world absent of such oppression. That's the black radical tradition that King is drawing from. So when King is saying, listen, when King is saying, listen, when King is listening himself, he understood it as a moral project, but it's also a political project. January 15th, 1968, King spends his last birthday on this planet. He woke up, he had breakfast with his family. They sang happy birthday to him. He put on his jeans and his windbreaker jacket and he went down to the church. He met with Chicano activists. He was fascinated by what was happening at the border and understood the need to expand or thicken the freedom struggle. He listened to them. He met with Negro preachers who wanted to build on the gains of 64 and 65. He listened to them. He met with sanitation workers. A worker in Chicago had been mauled the week before, and he was trying to figure out how to get workers' rights and living wages and safe working conditions. He listened to them. He met with anti-war activists trying to figure out how to stop this thing in Vietnam. He listened to them. But for King, it wasn't just a moral thing. It was more than that. See, King wasn't just a Negro preacher. People want to reduce him to a Negro preacher or a multicultural action figure. They want to domesticate him. They want to take the teeth out of him. King was also one of the greatest political strategists of the 20th century. King understood That it wasn't enough to be locked at the arm singing "We Shall Overcome," but that we must also be locked at the circumstance. He understood that America would respond differently if our coalitions were connected. He saw what happened in 1960 when John F. Kennedy walked through Harlem. Kissing black babies. It was dismissed as cheap political theater. He's trying to make Adam Clayton Powell happy, trying to get them Negro votes up on 125th Street. No different than Bill Clinton playing the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, or Hillary and Selma in church trying to clap on beat. 2 and 4, girl, 2 and 4. Yo, that 1 and 3 had her in the chokehold, man. My God. But it was dismissed out of hand. Such moments stand in sharp contrast to Bobby Kennedy walking through Appalachia. He's in West Virginia holding up that white baby whose belly's bloated and snot's coming down his nose. He's crying. He's hungry too. And we begin our war on poverty. We had to whiten the face of poverty to make it real, to make it legible. Now, in our tradition, the baby in Birmingham or the baby in Berlin or the baby in Boston or the baby in Botswana, they're all worth the same. They all deserve protection and care and love and investment and safety and dignity. But King understood that America's moral capacity was limited, and we not only needed to come together because it was the right thing to do, we also needed to come together because it was the way to get justice. What I'm telling us today in 2026 is that we also must come together, not just because it's the right moral project, but because there's a political alignment that can happen and there's a political victory that can be achieved when we understand the commonality and the connectedness of our struggles. Don't tell me that you ain't got time to think about reform of education or changing education because you're worried about the prison, because I'm gonna tell you, if we don't fix these schools, there's a direct pipeline from the school into the prison. Those struggles are connected. Don't tell me that you can't think about the military because you're thinking about poverty. Dr. King talked about the triplet of misery 50, 60 years ago. The war machine is fed by capitalism. The military-industrial complex feeds off of what? You know what? We didn't even got to get all theoretical. Gil Scott-Heron from The Last Poet said, everybody loves peace. The problem is you can't make no money off of it. And so as long as there's mass poverty, there will be mass violence. As long as there are poor people here, they will be sent to kill poor people there, wherever there is, while rich people everywhere make all the money off of it. I talk to black people all the time about environmental justice. They be like, man, I can't worry about the environment. I feel you. I'm worried about these police. I'm worried about racism. I'm worried about... There is a relationship between racism and the environment. If you don't believe me, go to Flint, Michigan. Go to Benton Harbor. Go to Cleveland. Go to Philly. Go to, you know what? You ain't got to go far. Walk outside. Right here outside. In the midst of this 1 degrees, you see what? Environmental racism. Look at where there's lead in the water. Look at where nuclear plants get built. Look at where there's food insecurity, where people got to go 3, 4, and 5 miles for fresh fruits and vegetables. These are environmental issues. These are ecological issues. This is what King is talking about. You can't separate in this tradition poverty, racism, militarism. They're connected. And to dismantle these systems of oppression, we got to target all of them. That's what King is talking about. I ain't gonna keep y'all much longer, but can I say just a couple more things? I'm glad some of y'all been to church, Lord. All the brother wanted is a little affirmation. You know, I love y'all so much. Dr. King is also part of a black radical tradition that is committed to getting America to listen to itself. Black radical tradition has always called out the contradictions of the American democratic experiment. We always talk about the I Have a Dream speech, and it is a cold speech. It's not my favorite. The mountaintop speech is still my favorite. There's something about staring death in the face and knowing that death is imminent, but you keep going, that I can't even fathom. But that wakes me up and energizes me. But when he gives that I Have a Dream speech, he's challenging America to listen to itself. This is August 28th, 1963. King is there for a reason. Sometimes we celebrate the speech and forget why he was giving it. This was the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. Now remember, history likes to truncate. America loved to forget the messy parts. It wasn't just the March on Washington, like Negroes say, hey, let's go for a walk. It was the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. In 100 years after what? That's right. The Emancipation Proclamation. To emancipate is to make someone what? So 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation signed by who? Lincoln. King goes to the nation's capital for a march on Washington for what? Freedom. Saying what? We ain't free. And then he stands in front of who? Lincoln. A great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand, signed an Emancipation Proclamation. He come right at him. He said, I come to the nation's capital to cash a check. He referred to the Emancipation Proclamation and these other founding documents as promissory notes. He said they like money, they like checks. He said the Negro stands on an island of poverty amidst an ocean of material wealth and prosperity. He said the Negro's check has been returned in sufficient funds. He said, but I refuse to believe that the great vaults of democracy could be empty. You see what I'm saying? King was being clear. We like to focus on the dream, because the dream ain't got a budget attached to it. But King was calling for something else. This wasn't a speech about dreams. This was a speech about promises. He said, America, you promised. Emancipation Proclamation, you promised. 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, America, you promised. Plessy versus Ferguson, you tried. But then 1954, Brown v. Board of Education, you promised. 1955, Brown v. Board 2, you promised. 1964, Voting Rights Act, you promised. 1965, Civil Rights, you promised. Flip them. Public accommodations, then voting rights. America, you promised. The legacy of King is not just getting America to listen to empty dreams, but to hold America accountable for its promises. And as we see over and over again, those promises get broken. You can't be in Madison, Wisconsin, and not talk about the brilliant intellectual corpus of Gloria Ladson-Billings. Not only is she a brilliant scholar, but she's from Philly. But she talks about the promises of Brown and how they've been unfulfilled. She talks about the racial contracts that have been broken by this nation. She talks about the vulnerable in places like New Orleans. She talks about the ethnography of misery. When we still looking at ourselves in the mirror like that doll study and don't see beauty on the other side. And how that lack of beauty in our minds attached to ourselves is not because of our individual lack of self-esteem, but a nation that has invested and doubled down on white supremacy. We got work to do, but we got to listen. I know, baby. But before I go, I just want to say one more thing. You know, we got the radical imagination, and we got this commitment to deep listening, but Dr. King's tradition called for something else. Action. Action. Dr. King's tradition, our tradition, is one of action, courageous action. When I talk about action, I think it's important at a moment like this to emphasize the importance of action. If you don't remember nothing else I tell y'all today, remember this. Biggest problem in the world today is that there are too many people who don't do anything. We got to do something to strike a blow for freedom. Got to do something. Doing something looks different on different people. We don't want to be ableist. We don't want to be classist. We don't want to be racist. Doing something looks different in different places, but we always have to have our minds fixed on freedom and our commitments lined up with a vision of justice that includes all of us. That means we got to engage in some form of organized action. It might be online, it might be in your house, it might be in your church or masjid or synagogue, it might be right here, it might be in your classroom, it might be in your relationship. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but I know that we have to do something. As Dr. King said, if you can't fly, then what? Run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. He said, but by all means, keep moving. We got to keep moving toward freedom through organized action. Why do I keep saying organized action? Because there's too many of us who are divided. Organized action means, for me, join an organization. Join an organization. I didn't say start one. I need y'all to hear that. I did not say start one. Because some of y'all just been itching to start one. Look, I go to towns like this, be 50 black people in 25 organizations. Everybody president and vice president. At some point, you have to recognize that that's about you. It's about you. See, the myth of history is that history advances through the work of, as Sidney Hook talked about, the eventful man or the event-making man, and we could say man or woman if he's not going to be sexist. There's a way that we think about this through the lens of the singular hero, but history is not advanced by the singular hero. For every person with a microphone, every person with a memory, every person with a statue, there's tens of thousands of people who organized, who struggled, who voted, who prayed, who made photocopies, who cooked, who bailed people out of jail, who stood in the gap for freedom to happen. And we got to lift those names up and those voices up, and not just a single superstar. Because somehow in that tradition, when we talk about the single superstar and we ignore the masses, we also ignore the extraordinary labor of women. We ignore the extraordinary labor of queer and trans folk. Our vision of history cannot be and should not be reduced to a single charismatic, cisgendered, heterosexual male with a microphone. Join an organization and stay in the organization. I meet so many people who leave the organization when they don't get elected president, or when they fall out over pettiness, or when their relationships end. We leave the organization. It has to be bigger than us. It has to be. Now, to the young people out there, I don't want to give y'all a false impression of history. We, my generation, and certainly my parents' generation, didn't get it right all the time either. I'm not trying to paint this idyllic narrative of history. You go to any black community in America, you find Second Baptist Church. Ask them why it's Second Baptist Church. It was a Baptist church. Somebody didn't get the part in the choir. Somebody said somebody greens was nasty. Second Baptist. But like I tell my children, I want y'all to make some new mistakes. No generation is perfect. You're going to make mistakes, but lean on your elders, stand on our shoulders, and make some new ones. And part of what that means in 2024, when we talk about courageous action, is making your organizations do and be what they're supposed to be. It's not enough to walk around strutting that you're part of the NAACP if your I'm the first vice president of the local NAACP. That's cool. It looks good on a resume. You got a great business card. But what kind of NAACP do you want to be? Do you want to be a 2026 neoliberal, wealth-chasing, happy to be at the White House, NAACP? Or do you want to be an Ida B. Wells Barnett, W.E.B. Du Bois, lynch-stopping, Africa-affirming, democracy-expanding NAACP? Who do we want to be? That's the question that King has been asking us, that this tradition calls on us to reflect on. Who do we want to be? For King, the answer was courageous. You see, King wasn't just engaged in action, it was courageous action. King knew what he was standing up against. Say what you want about the North and the battles in the North. The fight was in Birmingham. The battle was in Selma. King was stabbed years before he was shot. And he got back up. He faced death every single day. The Edmund Pettus Bridge was not a publicity stunt. His life was on the line. Negroes were getting lynched, and he stood up and was willing to give his life as a ransom for democracy. It doesn't mean that he wanted to. King didn't die for us. They killed him. But he understood what was at stake. And he did it anyway. Not just with an ethic of risk with his body, but also with his mind, also with his voice. King stood up at a moment where it was difficult and spoke the truth, though it was difficult. April 4th, 1967, he stands in Riverside Church. And he speaks out against the war in Vietnam because it had to be done. His moral composition didn't allow him to speak against the violence in Selma and Birmingham and Albany, Georgia, and ignore what was happening in Vietnam. King had a calling. He had a vocation that demanded moral consistency. They loved him when he was telling Negroes not to hit back. He hated him when that same ethic of nonviolence informed his analysis of the American imperial project. And for you young people, don't ever let them tell you that nonviolence is anything but courageous. Do you know what it's like for the freedom riders to train and organize and develop the discipline to know that I might get hit in the face, I might get a rock thrown at me, I might be spat upon, and I still have to sit there with a kind of constitution that says that nonviolence may not stop you from hating me, but it might stop me from hating you, and that's enough because my calling says that I can't hate nobody. I won't allow you to reduce me to what you are. Now, that ain't my tradition. I want to be transparent about that. Mine is more of a North Philly knuck if you buck kind of geopolitical strategy. Just want to be clear about that in case any of y'all think I'm nonviolent. Don't test me. However, King's position in that tradition is nothing but courageous. Gandhian nonviolence, Kingian nonviolence are courageous traditions. But King's courage wasn't limited to what he did to his body and with his body. It was his voice. It was his witness. It was his moral consistency. It was his willingness to call out the empire itself. He didn't want to be friends with the empire. He didn't want to be invited to the galas at the empire. He didn't want to get the press pass at the empire. He wanted to tear down the empire. Who do we want to be? And that's the thing that falls upon us now. Who do we want to be? Do we just want to applaud ourselves for our liberal reform strategies? Or do we want to radically transform the world? And yes, I said the world, because you can't worry about what's happening in Madison if you don't worry about what's happening in Congo, if you don't worry about what's happening in Haiti, if you don't worry about what's happening in Venezuela, if you don't worry about what's happening in Sudan. You can't just be myopic, because as King said, when dogs bite us in Birmingham, we bleed everywhere. So now, family, as I leave you, I need you to understand that this work is so lonely. It is scary, it is dangerous, but it is so lonely. History doesn't instruct us that we won't be victorious. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And there's never been a victory that we won that we didn't have to fight for. The state doesn't have feelings, it has interests. The empire doesn't just give things away. Slave masters never retired. We had to fight and struggle, and eventually we would win. But our victory does not happen with the masses. Everybody, grandma swear they marched with Dr. King. Every granddaddy swear they. Less than 14% of black folk marched for civil rights. Participated in one action. Now, I'm not dissing that. There's plenty of reasons. I ain't telling nobody who grew up in Jim Crow that they didn't do it right. But what I'm saying is that let's not pretend that the masses are willing to make this sacrifice. If you're willing to fight for justice, you have to be willing to be alone. They celebrated King in '63. He was Time Magazine Man of the Year in '63. After he tried to end that imperial war in Vietnam, he couldn't make People Magazine's Most Admired Americans list. He was kicked out of his own Baptist convention. His fellow preachers said that he was too vain. He was all in the videos. Old heads get it. They said that King, at his own alma mater, Morehouse College, they said that King was not fit to sit on the board of trustees. They said he was a bad influence on young people. They said he went to jail too much. The night before the March on Washington, August 27th of '63, W.B. Du Bois dies. The greatest intellectual this country's ever produced. And he was an afterthought to these bourgeois, liberal, Negro preachers who couldn't understand or embrace his radical geopolitical analysis. He was an expat in Ghana. They simply said over the loudspeaker, the old man had died. He was alone. Paul Robeson was alone. Harriet Tubman was alone. Sojourner Truth was alone. Malcolm X died in that Audubon ballroom, no longer surrounded and flanked by so many people, but only Maya Angelou, who had come back over, and his family and his beloved children who had to watch their father die in front of him. He was largely alone because he stood up and spoke out in defense of black girls. You have to understand that if you speak out in this world, you are going to be alone. You will not be celebrated by the people in the moment. History will lie later and say they were with you. One day they will all be against this, but in the moment they will make you alone. So if you're feeling alone, don't think you're doing it wrong. To the contrary, if everybody like you, if nobody's coming for you, if you ain't got no enemies, if you ain't been lied upon, if your work ain't been undermined or defunded or depoliticized, then maybe you're not doing it right. I'm gonna take my seat, but some of y'all right now in this room, I know you're feeling alone. You come in here and you talk about race and they with you, but the moment you talk about your gender analysis, the men scatter. I know you feel alone. I know some of you work with good white people, liberal white people, the kind that buy tickets for this kind of thing. They love black people till it's time to hire one. I know you feel alone. I see my frat brothers in the audience. Shout out to the noobs, the rest of y'all, whatever. I know some of you on campus, when you organize the teach-in or the community giveaway, 5 people show up. When you had a step show, 5,000 people show up. When it's time to teach, ain't nobody there. When it's time to go in that basement to teach, everybody show up. You ain't seen them since spring '82. I understand. I know you feel alone. Some of you work with people who swear they radical, but they radical on everything but Palestine. I heard you when you stopped clapping. I know you feel alone. But please, do not sink into despair. This is a tradition of radical action and radical imagination and radical listening, but also radical solitude. To do this work is to be alone. But we fight, we struggle, we battle. Not 1 million of us, not 100,000 of us, maybe not even 10 of us. But we fight to open up space for a world that we may not even get to see. But our children, or our children's children, will see freedom. They will see victory. They will see the fulfillment of the dream of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Free the land, free Palestine, free our political prisoners. Yo to the noobs.
Wow. Can we have one more round of applause for our keynote speaker, Dr. Hill? Good evening, Madison. I am honored to be here with you to celebrate the legacy of brother Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 06 to the good brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I am Julian Walters, president of Eminent Development Corporation, my own organization. Sorry, Dr. Hill. I am pleased to participate in tonight's coalition program by sharing the Litany of Rededication with you. The litany was written by the Reverend Mark Klinger, former senior pastor of First Baptist Church of Madison, based on key words, principles of Dr. King. Hopefully this evening, the words will resonate with you and that we will all pledge to rededicate ourselves to work towards creating a more just and equitable society. Will you please stand, if you can, for the Litany of Rededication, and I ask that you join me in the reading the response passages that are bold and dark in your programs. We pledge ourselves to the American promise that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Together, we pledge to live in mutual cooperation with all our brothers and sisters. We will weave our lives together into a single garment of destiny. We will avoid the use of violence within our world, our nation, our country, our city, our neighborhoods, our home, and our families. We will harbor no hatred within our hearts. Together, we will seek peaceful solutions in every conflict, and we will preserve and protect the dignity and worth of every person. We will not cooperate with evil, neither will we be patient with injustice. Now is the time for us to do what is right. Thank you, Madison. Thank y'all for having my back. We will not cooperate with evil. Which one? We will keep hope. We will keep hope alive in our hearts. We believe that the universe is on the side of justice. We believe the truth is stronger than evil. Together, we believe that this is no time for our apathy, silence, or complacency. We must work with unceasingly to lift this nation that we love to a higher distance. This is a time for our vigorous and positive action, so we pledge to lift higher the banner of peace, justice, reconciliation, and beloved community in our day in this community. Happy Martin Luther King Day, Madison.
Good evening. My name is Wendy Ledesma, and I'm pleased to be here with my husband, Roberto Ledesma, and 3 of our 5 children in the audience tonight. We are here to extend a call to action. As we reflect on the message tonight, the King Coalition asks us to ponder how we can act to affect change in our community right here in Dane County. What are the ways in which we can advance the movement for civil and human rights in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who reminds us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere? His words were not meant to stay frozen in history. They were meant to move us to action today. I stand before you as a Latina physician and as a daughter of an immigrant mother. My mother came to this country with courage, faith, and the belief that hard work could create opportunities. She worked as a nursing assistant and one of the first medical interpreters. She worked long hours and taught me that dignity is not defined by your accent, your skin colors, or the papers you carry, but by your humanity. Thank you. As a physician, I see every day that health, safety, and opportunity are deeply connected to justice. When communities are divided, when fear replaces trust, people suffer.
My name is Roberto Ledesma. I stand here today as a Latino attorney, working in the front lines for individual rights, working for the community, and work with families who are living in a difficult time, living in fear of separation, fear of removal, fear of the government knocking on their door, fear that this country they consider home will no longer be seen as their home, and they will not be valued as they once were, and see themselves as not being worthy. All of us come from a history migrants, and everyone's stories are not anew. Everyone's stories are different, but they echo the same struggles faced by generations before them. Dr. King called on America to live up to its promises that all individuals are equal and that we all are an integral part of society. That promise was never meant for only one group or those who have the most political power. Our Constitution states, "We the people," not we the powerful, not we the chosen, but all people.
Black and brown communities share a deeply connected history of resilience, resistance, and hope. We have marched together, organized together, and dreamed together. And yet too often we are pushed apart by fear, misinformation, and systems that benefit from our division. When Black communities are denied justice, brown communities suffer. When immigrant families are targeted, the ripple effects reach every marginalized group. As a physician, I know healing does not happen in isolation. Healing happens in community.
The struggles facing our community, the struggles facing immigrants today are civil rights issues, they are individual rights issues, they are human rights issues, they are moral issues. Dr. King reminded us that the law may not always reflect justice, and when it does not, it is the responsibility and the duty of lawmakers, leaders, and communities to work together and work towards the change that would allow the law to change to represent equality for all people and for the equal application of the law for all people so that we can all be dignified and protected by the law. Dr. King warned us that the greatest danger is not hatred alone, but indifference. Today, we choose something different. Now here's the scripted part.
Today, we choose unity over division. Today, we choose courage over fear. Today, we choose to continue the work. By standing together, Black and brown, immigrants and native-born, we do more than remember Dr. King's dream. We keep it alive. I'm going to pause.
The baskets will be passed out.
Yes, okay.
This is a call to action. We can either organize, join an organization, or we can contribute. With our call to action, we encourage you to explore volunteer opportunities through the Coalition's ongoing partners, the United Way of Dane County, the Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice, and the Voter ID Coalition table. As you're able, we invite you to make a financial contribution. Your gift will help to fund the King Coalition's annual observance and activities. Additionally, we will direct donations to the Madison chapter of Veterans for Peace and Mount Zion Baptist Church food pantries.
Thank you to the members of the Madison Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated for helping with tonight's collection. Please contribute as you can and pass the basket to your neighbor. You may also donate online at mlkingcoalition.org or text the word MLK 2026 to the number 33777. The printed program on the inside page has a QR code that you can take with you, and that will lead you directly to the donation site. I would ask that you do it tonight while you're feeling moved by Dr. Hill's message, by the beautiful choir, and by our beautiful community, our political representatives, and some of our phenomenal humanitarian awardees. Thank you in advance for your generosity, your kindness, and your action.
Thank you. And have a good evening.
That was a fitting tribute and a welcome part. It related to what had happened earlier because it was the call to action. And I was reminded of Michelle Obama's comments. She said, don't just sit there, do something. But we heard from the speaker earlier, it's not just about doing something. It's doing something resting on given principles, dedication, and so the kind of dedication that I'm assuming it was not just a matter of reading the words, it was a matter of incorporating those words into the actions that would be taken. And I can only, as we round up for the evening, can only think that you've been inspired, I certainly hope, inspired by the wonderful music. And I failed earlier to recognize the instrumentalists along with the vocalists. You've been inspired by the people on this stage, but also the people in this audience. This has been a powerful audience. Congratulate yourselves. So we bring the program to an end, but not an end to the principles on which it stands. Not an end to the vision, the legacy that we've inherited. And nobody told us it was going to be easy. We know that the road still has to be traveled, and it is a difficult one in many respects, but given the principles we've all adhered to, given the kind of commitment to working with one another, undoubtedly, we will continue the legacy. We will continue working on principles that will matter so much. As we close the program, then, we're going to do so by what is a tradition for this program, and that is we will join the community choir. Well, maybe we don't want you to join the choir. They're so good, but because it's supposed to represent all of us, what we're being engaged in, we will join together in singing, "We Shall Overcome." You may stand.